Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to fundamentally change how you view your entire path in life. I mean, if you've ever felt just completely overwhelmed by everything you're trying to achieve, or maybe you feel like your goals are constantly clashing up there in your mind, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to unpack a super powerful operating system for a meaningful life, and it's all based on the Journey Binder methodology. So get ready to totally shift your perspective.
Okay, let's dive into this. Life is a journey, right? It's an incredibly common cliche. We have all heard it a million times. It's printed on coffee mugs, it's woven into pretty much every graduation speech ever, it's painted on those rustic wooden signs. But honestly, the first person who said this was probably just trying to simplify life into something they could easily understand and, control. But here is the hard truth we need to confront today. Life is actually not a journey. It's just not. Life is far too grand, way too unique, totally unplannable, and frankly, too complex to be reduced to just one single journey. Instead, as the source material beautifully puts it, life is a grand existence that contains many journeys. When we try to force our entire messy, wonderful existence into one single path, that's when we completely lose focus. So, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to cover 1. The grand journey myth, 2. Inside your tangled mind, 3. The power of capturing, 4. Balancing the 4 spheres, and finally 5. Choosing your right crew. Let's get right into it. Starting with part 1, the grand journey myth. Now you might be wondering, why did people ever start calling life a single journey in the first place? Well, to really understand this myth, we've got to look at the actual definition. The dictionary defines a journey as an act of traveling from one place to another. Right? It has a clear beginning, where you start, a destination where you plan to go, and an end where you actually stop. A journey is something that can be controlled. It can be measured by how far you've traveled. You can literally put a journey on hold and start it up again later. But life, as we all know, life cannot be paused. Life is entirely immeasurable. But, and here's the kicker, a weight loss goal, buying a home, finishing a degree, those absolutely are journeys, because those things can be controlled.
And that brings us to part 2, inside your tangled mind.
Recognizing that we have dozens of these distinct, controllable journeys going on at once is a great first step, but it also creates a huge issue. And this brilliantly illustrates the core problem that arises when we try to juggle all these paths internally. On the left side here, we imagine our minds as full of these separate, peaceful paths, just people happily walking their individual routes. But on the right, we see the actual reality of trying to keep all this in your head. It's intersecting paths, massive mountains, huge obstacles, and ultimately, tears of overwhelm. There are just so many journeys we're trying to manage year after year, and they constantly clash. Outside forces are competing for our brain space, dragging us away from what actually matters most. Actually, let me break down a specific example just to show you how deeply interconnected all these goals really are. Think about a muscle toning journey. Right? To get in shape, you need to eat specific foods, you got to sign up for a gym, maybe you need to buy supplements. But all of that costs money, which directly immediately impacts your financial journey. That new gym membership might mean you literally have less cash to allocate towards saving for a house or a car. Every single journey impacts the progress of another. And trying to track all those ripple effects just in your head, it's virtually impossible. Which leads us perfectly into part 3, the power of capturing. This is where we learn how to actually fix the overwhelm. Because the pivotal solution to mental overwhelm isn't just managing your thoughts better. No, it's about getting these journeys completely out of your head. There's this really great anecdote from the creator of the Journey Binder system. Back in college, he was living in this tiny, 500 square foot dorm room, and he was constantly losing his keys. His girlfriend at the time just handed him a simple dish and told him, "Keep your keys in the dish." I mean, it was profound in its simplicity. Every time he walked in, the keys went straight in the dish, and boom, he never lost them again. The takeaway here, your brain is not a storage facility for your journeys. You absolutely need a physical or digital dish to capture them so you don't lose focus on what really matters. So here is the actual methodology for capturing life's paths. Step 1. Set your destination with a clear "I shall, so that" statement. It gives you immediate purpose. Step 2 involves focusing on what matters by identifying your specific commitments and tools. And finally, Step 3. Journal your steps. Now notice how this isn't just another stressful, endless to-do list. It's actually designed as a reflective companion. It's meant to slow you down just enough so you can actually notice the progress you're making. Because once a winding, looping journey is finally captured on paper or in a system, it's out in the open. The source material compares this to a train's cowcatcher. You know, that metal part at the very front of a locomotive that deflects obstacles right off the track so the train doesn't derail. When you write your journey down, it's like you are mounting a cowcatcher to the front of it. You can finally control it, you can pause it, and you can measure it, all without that chaotic mental distraction.
All right, moving on to part 4, balancing the 4 spheres.
So the crucial point is that once we've captured these journeys, we need to organize them. Because a whole life is a balanced life, right? Every single journey you capture lives inside one or more of these 4 essential spheres, which make up the SHEF framework. S is for spiritual, that's your meaning and mindfulness. H is for health, your body, energy, and overall well-being. E stands for education, learning, growth, honing your craft. And F is for finance, wealth, stewardship, and stability. Literally every single goal you have fits naturally into this framework. It's pretty amazing.
And by categorizing your journeys this way, you can create a really clear visual representation of your life. Just at a glance, like with a donut chart, it reveals exactly where your energy and time are currently flowing. Like, are you pouring absolutely everything into finance and education, but completely neglecting your health and spiritual spheres? Visualizing this balance gently asks you where you might need to turn your attention next, just to achieve a truly whole, balanced life.
And that brings us to our final section, part 5, choosing your right crew. Because here's the thing, even the best planned paths require company. You really shouldn't walk these paths entirely alone. The people around us fundamentally shape the way we act and think. In Jim Collins' famous business book, Good to Great, he uses this fantastic metaphor of making sure you have the absolute best crew possible on your boat before you ever set sail, because you literally never know what surprises the ocean has in store for you. And the exact same applies to your personal journeys. You need a support structure to pick you up when you fall. You need idea generation, meaning you should purposefully surround yourself with people who are smarter or more skilled than you are. Their work ethic and their productivity, it will naturally elevate yours.
But you know, sometimes that support is simply a steadfast presence. Meet Iona. She's a character from the Journey Binder system, and she represents the ultimate symbol of a quiet, steady companion on the road. She's not there to do the hard work for you. She's there to ask gentle questions, to hold space for the answers, and to never, ever rush your reply. A truly great crew helps you notice what you actually already know deep down.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is it illustrates the ultimate paradigm shift we've been talking about today. Just notice the progression here. It goes from the speculative ant to the ground-level traveler caterpillar, up through the chrysalis, all the way to the omniscient, soaring butterfly. When you stop viewing life as just one chaotic, uncontrollable journey, and you actually start capturing, organizing, and navigating your distinct paths alongside the right crew, your entire perspective elevates. You go from being lost down in the tall grass to seeing the entire map from above. It's a total game changer. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Really think about your life right now. Where are you headed, and why does it matter? I'm going to challenge you, as soon as this explainer is over, to take literally just 5 minutes. Grab a piece of paper, name one specific journey you're on right now, and write it down. Get it out of your head, put it in the dish, and finally take control of your path. Thanks so much for watching, and keep learning.